This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, there's no question. How's the temperature?
It's cold.
Yes, it's very cold.
I think it's like
It
4
was
under.
cold outside. It's what, 4 under?
2 under now, according to my cellular
2
device.
under.
But when I left the house, it was about 4.
There you have it. Well, the reason I ask is that just means it must be the holiday season. What do you think of that tie-in? Little flow.
Oh God, it all wraps together.
Yeah, it's cold, but it feels good this morning. Like the sun is, well, I hope the sun is going to be shining later, but it's not going to be just gray. But I don't know. It's Friday, so everybody should feel good, even though it's freezing.
And there's not as much wind today. So I feel like
That's good.
The wind always is what brings it down to it feels like it's 20 below, but I can deal with just the standing cold.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Save up to 70% off your holiday shopping with the Tom Barnard Holiday Online Auction. Visit tombernardshow.com. Keyword auction to register now. Bidding starts today, as a matter of fact. Auction runs through about 8 o'clock next Thursday, the 19th. Thousands of dollars of items will be up for bids. This 1 week only. Items up for auction include an ultimate golf package at Deer Run Golf Club valued at $6,750, a Canadian fishing package for 4 at Fletcher Lake Lodge in Ontario. That's worth $8,740. Free golf lesson, 10-hour peak punch pass from Swing Lab. That's valued at $520. And the 2024 Modern Buggy Quad Hauler, 124 QH. What is 124 QH?
I think that's just it's like the Toyota Tacoma 7.0 or whatever.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
It's just the name.
Okay.
So the 2024 Modern Buggy Quad Hauler, 124 QH from Pleasureland RV, valued at $7,750. Remember, visit tombernardshow.com and enter keyword auction to view items and bid, because it is the holiday season.
Yeah, and a lot of those things are still. We got an updated thing on screen here, and a lot of those prices are still way below what they're valued at. So you can get some good discounts if you go bid.
See, that's all you need to know. And I was asked by many, many, many listeners, when are you guys going to admit that I was right yesterday and you were dead wrong?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
yeah, typical. Yeah, how are people taking that Caitlin Clark comment about skin color? There was no reason to bring it up, and that generation has got to stop doing that. It's disgusting. It takes all the meaning out of everything. Kevin, you're wearing a white shirt today, and I understand why. You want to show your displeasure with white people because it's a white shirt that has horns on it. Does that mean white people are the devil?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yeah, they were on her. Oh, my God, the national news was on her last night. Well, there's no reason for it. Look, she's young, so we'll forgive her.
Yeah.
But you can't bring race into everything. Some people are actually happy. I know it's hard to believe, but
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would argue if Caitlin Clark tells me that she believes that because she's white, she maybe had some advantages, who am I to tell her no? I don't know what she's.
Because you're a hypocrite. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I mean, if she says, if I go, I grew up in Osceola, Wisconsin, I had some advantages that maybe somebody that didn't grow up in Osceola, Wisconsin or whatever, if AJ goes, no, you didn't, what do you mean? You were with me when I grew up. How do you know that I didn't have certain privileges?
That's exactly my point. She didn't grow up in a mixed color neighborhood. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
No, but she just said that because she's white, that she thinks she's had certain privileges that maybe somebody that's not white wouldn't have had. And so if she's has examples of that, then who am I to say oh no?
What are the examples?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Caitlin Clark.
Everybody blasted her. You two took a punch. Let's admit it. That's just how it is.
Sure.
Now they're going to make things worse if they don't stop with this ass kissing. Now I'll never watch her again. Of course, I never watched her in the first place, but whatever works. I used to be a huge basketball fan. I just can't get into it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose it's the same situation. I've been to a hockey game in a long time. Look, you got to start winning some stuff, and Uncle Tommy will show up again. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much higher you can get than first in the NHL, but they're gonna keep trying at it.
I'm talking about winning a title. I don't care where they're ranked. I couldn't care less about that. That's like this morning I was watching the national news, and they brought this radio disc jockey on from Seattle.
For sure.
And he's talking about this, that, and the other thing. I said, if there was one guy you would pick for TV, this would not be the guy. He looked like a grizzly bear. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but he kind of had a grizzly bear head. You know what I mean?
Man.
In other words, lady, he got into radio for a very specific reason. But you can't do that anymore because of video.
Oh no! And what's you have a voice face for
radio.
Face for radio. There you go.
Face for radio. There you go. That's exactly right. No, but I just wanted to point out that you guys were both wrong yesterday, and I was right on the money. Don't worry
I think it's a matter of perspective.
No, it's not. I'm right, and you're wrong.
Who was it? Megyn Kelly went off on.
Oh, did she?
Clark, yeah.
A lot of people did last night on the. I didn't go off on her. I just said, don't fall for that stuff. You're not helping anybody doing that. And once again, you come into our neighborhood back when I was a kid, you started that stuff where you go away for Christ's sake. Go look for dead hookers in Bassett's Creek. What do you say? Right?
Right.
I think what I'm saying is, unless you've been around that kind of situation, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. It's true. You just have no clue. Like, I don't know what it's like to grow up in a family with billionaire parents. I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And I would just say that I don't think she's talking about growing up in the ghetto. I think she's just saying, as far as her compared to her other millionaire WNBA people, that I think she's talking strictly about the WNBA, not society as a whole.
I think just her experiences and stuff like that.
Oh, don't try to stick up for her. Now, you guys lost the argument. Now you're trying to make up for it. No, I don't care what the hell she does. Actually, I don't watch it. And she's a hell of a talent from what I understand. I've seen some highlights of her. She's a very, very talented woman, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't, as far as shooting the basketball goes, you can't get much better than what she's able to do.
Yeah, she can put it up from about 3/4 court.
Yeah, she's the type of person where once she steps off the bus and is outside the stadium, send somebody out to guard her just because you don't want her to score.
Okay, well, it's going to be one of those shows today because I already brought up something that I was right about and both of these guys were wrong. But now to move on, I told you guys about this. Only one thing is more annoying than people having sex on a bus. I told you guys not to bring it up.
There's only one?
There's only one.
There's nothing more annoying. Maybe murder, I guess.
Yeah.
God, how would you like to get on a bus and watch somebody stooping? It's like, no, what are you doing? Right?
I don't know what kind of buses people are taking.
Oh, there used to be some interesting ones on Penn Avenue, I'll tell you that. You'd see some interesting stuff on Penn going down to Plymouth Avenue. Holy God. Calm down, ladies and gentlemen. So what is the more annoying thing than people having sex on a bus? What would that, somebody eating and smacking their lips?
I don't know. Are they urinating in the middle of the aisle?
Maybe.
Right. Yeah,
both are still
pretty bad.
It's neck and neck for those two, though. But
it is neck and neck. Riding a bus can be a convenient, cheap way of commuting, but like anything else, it can come with headaches. A new poll asked thousands of bus travelers worldwide to rank the things that annoy them the most that other riders do. Number one response was, "Oh yeah, playing music too loud." There is no excuse for that. I didn't think they allowed that on the buses anymore.
I think it's one of those rules that's we're going to ask you to stay behind the line, but eventually somebody's probably going to creep over at some point and they're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that loud music on a bus. Ugh. I remember going up to see my grandma Minnie, my mother's mother in Long Prairie. My sister and I took the Greyhound bus up there. And there was a guy in the very back row, the bench seat on the very back row. Mm-hmm. Playing his guitar and singing at full volume the entire 2-hour drive.
Yeah, that's when I go back there and I say, hey, man, love that you have a talent to play the guitar. You just shut the hell up so I can go to bed, take this nap.
And the singing part was, I went downstairs with my sister and, that kind of stuff, that country kind of deal.
Yep.
Never been a fan of that. My mother loved country music. I suppose she was born and raised in Long Prairie, so she might. But yeah, I don't mind country singers like, who was that guy? One guy, was it Don Williams? God, he was a great singer. So there are a lot of great singers in country music, don't get me wrong, but the ones that aren't need to calm down. Right?
Yeah, and even if you are, no matter what genre of music it is, just to assume that this whole bus full of people, you want to see my concert.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, you're absolutely right. There are global rankings, but among Americans, the most annoying thing is poor personal hygiene. Well, there it is. Yeah. The other thing I will mention, I may have mentioned this to you guys earlier in the week, but I ride an elevator in the morning to go down and take a walk. Right? Mm-hmm. There's something about East Coast women, particularly New York women, God bless them. They're very nice people, all the rest of it. They must put on their cologne with a mop. You walk on these elevators, it's like, holy God.
Just kind of hits you in the face.
It really does hit you right in the face. It's a nice smell, but it's way over the top is the problem.
Yeah, there's a guy that lives in my building that if I go out to the elevator within 5 minutes of him leaving or getting to his house, I could tell, like him specifically.
Oh, yes.
Pass through.
That's exactly what happened to me this morning. I got in the elevator once again, and it stops 2 floors later. And as the woman was getting on, I said, that is not me. I have cologne on, but that's not my cologne you're smelling. It's like it was put in there with a mop, for Christ's sake. It's like, what? Why so much, do you think?
I don't know. I feel like I was always told it's like 1, maybe 2 like mists at yourself, or if you or you do 1 and then it's like the on your wrist and you rub it together, and then you kind of rub. Yeah.
Yep.
The less is more.
I agree.
The key term for fragrances.
Okay, those are global rankings, by the way, we're talking about. But among Americans, the most annoying thing is poor personal hygiene. Yeah. Who is that? Sense. Richard Pryor? Get about that bed, girl. Wash your ass.
Yeah. Please,
that was Richard Pryor. Wash, baby. Then playing music too loud, followed by smoking or vaping. Do not smoke on the bus. What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah, there's a weird thing that people think I want to smell their like strawberry shortcake vape. No, I do not.
I understand. Now, this next one, talking loudly, this goes back in my life 35, maybe even 40 years when I used to work out with a lot of professional wrestlers. And once in a while, just for the hell of it, we'd hop on a bus, go downtown and hang out. Those guys, I'm sorry. Now, you're not supposed to play music. You're not supposed to smoke or vape. No talking loudly. Well, they're quiet voices about right here. It's like they cannot help themselves but talk loudly. Have you ever heard a wrestler whispering?
Oh, no. Not even close to it.
Not even close. It's true. Hey, don't tell that guy over there. I'm going to go over and kick his ass for him. It's like, well, I think he just heard you. I think you're good.
Yeah. And if the wrestler does manage to somehow whisper, it's because he's whispering a very violent threat to somebody.
That could be. Yeah. You might be right. Okay. Now, talking loudly, it was the number 2 in the global rankings, the worst things you can run into on a bus.
Yeah.
Number 1 is in 5th, it's participating in sexual activity on a bus. Ugh.
I feel like if that's on this list, why is not like killing somebody on this list? I feel like everything else we've talked about is like a casual, normal occurrence that you experience on a bus in a day-to-day. I have never once gotten on a bus or really any metro transit vehicle. And it's like, yeah, there's just 2 people doing it in the back.
Yeah, it's probably so low on the list because nobody ever really experienced it. Yeah. Whereas after somebody said, well, talking loudly, and then if the person giving the survey was like, well, what about if they were having sex? Yeah, they'd be like, people have sex on buses? Like, what?
Yeah, put that on there.
Put that on there.
I guess they do. Other annoyances, let's see. Reclining the seat without a can you recline bus seats?
No.
I didn't think so. No,
not even on like a Greyhound bus, like if you're going across country.
Maybe a Greyhound, yeah.
I guess I'm thinking like city bus.
Yeah.
Arguing with other passengers, I don't like your hat. What do you think of that? Why would you argue with anybody on a bus?
I don't know. Why do people argue and fight on planes? Like, it's kind of the same thing.
I don't get it either. Leaving trash around their seat, yes, there's no question. But number one annoyance on a bus is what?
Talking on this like speakerphone.
I would say I got to be going like to the bathroom in the back of the bus, like the little toilet in there. Like
very close. It's actually farting in your seat.
Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah. Why would you fart in your seat when everybody knows it's you?
I would say because it's in an enclosed space. Maybe they think that it's more likely to kind of go everywhere and nobody knows who the real person is.
I hate everything about that. I really do. It's like, God, that farting thing. It really is. You know, honest to God, I've known Catherine for 44 years. I don't think I've ever heard her fart, come to think of it. I gotta think about that. I don't think I ever have. Of course, mine are louder, so maybe that's why.
She kind of suppresses hers, and you're just like, whatever. Yeah.
Let her go, baby. All right, so behave on the buses and on public transit. Don't start any fist fights, and that's probably I've seen them though. I've seen fist fights on a bus. It's quite the visual because there's nowhere to go. You know what I mean? If you're trying to get away from somebody, you're not going to get away from anybody on a bus. It's just not going to happen. So we'll take a break. Come right back with somebody we'd all like to beat up, but I won't tell you who that is quite yet. Right?
Right. I mean, I think we know.
Yeah, we know. It's not next, but it's in like 10 minutes, something like that.
Oh, no. We got Phil waiting.
Oh, Phil's still waiting?
Yeah.
Why? I tried to give him the brush and it didn't work.
Yeah, he doesn't go away.
All right, we'll be right back. I love picking on him. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. A message to listeners of the Tom Barnard Show. I have an announcement for you. I need just 5 of you listening to do me and yourselves a favor. I need you to take advantage of a free offer. Yes, I said free, seriously free. I need you to call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 and tell him Tom sent you. Josh will meet with you for free. You can ask several of our listeners that have met with him. They'll tell you. Tell him Tom sent you, by the way. Josh will meet you with you for free, give you advice on investing, handling, and making money. He'll answer any and all of your questions about retirement, your 401k, IRA, or retirement savings, and it's free. What do you have to lose? I'm talking to you. You hear me. Be one of my 5 listeners to pick up your phone right now and call 952-925-5608 and ask for Josh, Mr. Money Talk. He'll give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your investments. He'll do that for free, by the way. So call Josh now at 952-925-5608, but you got to tell him Tom sent you. Then call me afterward and thank me for the free service. Touchdown. I like it. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and ship issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. You've heard me talking about them for a long time now. When they opened in 1998, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. While a lot has changed since 1998, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities has not. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. There are 6 of them, as a matter of fact. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
It's time for the sports. Phil Mackey's with us, man.
Wow. Are you guys as excited for Saturday night's main event with Jesse Ventura as I am this week?
Oh, that's right. Is he back in the wrestling ring?
So that not the ring, but the commentator booth or table.
Oh,
and I think
good.
that's tomorrow night. I think that's a tomorrow night. They're bringing back the Saturday night's main event. They're bringing back like Greg the Hammer Valentine, all these Coco Beware, all these old 80s WWE figures. Yeah.
You know that Kent Herbeck tried one time, many years ago, Kent Herbeck tried to talk Jesse and me into scheduling a boxing match in either St. Paul or Minneapolis, and boy, he was all about the idea. He just thought it was a great plan.
Yeah. Wait, you would be boxing?
I would be fighting Jesse Ventura.
That'd probably be a good draw. A little celebrity boxing back in the day.
Well, it probably would have been a good draw back in those days. It's true.
I mean, celebrity boxing now is much more of a draw than like actual boxing. It
is, yeah.
I mean, look at the Mike Tyson Jake Paul example, where people would rather pay to watch two known, completely like nowhere near the top of the heavyweight ranks because Mike Tyson's almost 60, and Jake Paul's a good fighter, but I would rather watch. I'm trying to think of the example. Like if it was like two political figures duke it out in the ring, like would I pay $50 to watch that? Probably, like more than I would pay to watch two actual heavyweight fighters.
Like who would they have to be though? They have to be somebody really good, I would think.
I mean, if it was Bernie Sanders is a little old, but if it was like Bernie Sanders versus Matt Gaetz, would you pay $50 to watch those guys fight in an octagon? Probably. I probably would.
Yeah, probably just see what's going on. I was trying to think of what a good match would be. That guy from Pennsylvania, he's still got a lot of problems, doesn't he? The real
who
big
wears
guy.
the shorts and t-shirt.
He's got the shorts and the sweatshirts like I'm wearing now, and
yeah.
But he's kind of stepped up in a very responsible way. You notice he's helping both sides now. Look, I never saw that coming from him.
Very controversial that you might help all of America as a politician rather than just
What a horrible idea that is, man. So what's on the sports agenda for the weekend? I don't know. We don't have any football till Monday night.
Yeah. Football Monday night. It's a quiet weekend in college football. The Army-Navy game. So it's kind of go do your holiday things. Go to your holiday markets. Go spend some time with family and take a weekend away from immersing yourself in football. But yeah, the Vikings are sitting here. And they're 11-2. Last night, the Rams beat the 49ers, kind of knocking the 49ers out. Right. So I don't want to look ahead past the Bears, okay? But the Vikings' potential playoff opponents are taking shape. It could be the Buccaneers. The Falcons are still in play. The Rams, who they already lost to, and then the Seahawks currently lead their bad division in the NFC West. So now we're kind of looking ahead to January here a little bit to see where the Vikings might travel to if they don't win their division.
Where do you think that might be? You got a couple.
I think Tampa right now is kind of.
Oh yeah, yep, that's right.
I think if the playoffs started today, it would be Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. But it's kind of fun, like looking ahead and thinking playoffs with a month to go in the season is not where a lot of people thought we would be talking about this Vikings team back 6 months ago.
No, and it's wild to think that potentially a 3 or 4 loss team, or I guess a 2 loss team, could potentially be on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Normally, those are the teams that get home games, but now because that NFC North is just demolishing everybody, we'll probably have to go on the road.
Yeah, it's a great division. It's actually one of the best divisions in the history of the current division alignments, where you have one team that's 12-1, and then you have 11-2, and the Packers are 9-4, I want to say.
Yep.
So pretty good division, the NFC North there, Tom.
Indeed, it's always been fun to watch. There's no question about it. And it's since I was, I believe, 3 years old, Detroit has never done one damn thing. And now all of a sudden, after all of these years, they're a damn good team, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know what to do. You know, they're kind of like the fan base is getting kind of cocky and arrogant, but you know that it's layered with decades of insecurity underneath. So we'll see how they handle it. It would be pretty devastating if the Lions won a Super Bowl before the Vikings did. But
oh God, I couldn't take that. So we'd be the only one left in the division who hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Packers with their 4, the Bears with 1 in 1985, and then the Lions would get theirs.
That was 40 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
That was 40 years. I thought it was like 10 years ago.
Does it really feel like 1985 was 40? Well, I guess I was born in 1985. I'm about to turn 40. So that just makes me feel terrible about myself. Wow.
Sorry about that. It's my fault. You know, what a horrible age you are.
Anxiety just kicked in. All the things I've yet to accomplish. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. I'll take care of you. No question. I don't know. It's kind of but that's happening to me. We Kath and I have been watching Christmas movies.
Oh, yeah.
And we watched the movie The Ref with Dennis Leary. You ever seen that movie?
No, I'm adding it. We love just binging dumb Christmas movies. So.
Oh, yeah. The Ref, it's called. It's really, really good. He is incredibly good in it. No question about it. But I'm going, God, that was so great. God, didn't we go see that what was that, like 20 years ago? No, it was 40 years ago. It was 1980. I think it was 83 or something like that. It's like, oh my God, everything's 40 years old now. What the hell is that, including my children? Well, they're not really, but close.
Wait, no. It was only 30 years ago. Only 30 years ago for the Rat. You don't have to feel quite as old.
94?
Yeah, but they were using corded phones and...
yes, they were. Yes, they were indeed. If you guys have never seen it, it's really, really good. Dennis Leary is incredibly good in that movie.
Okay, it's a Christmas comedy crime film from the early 1990s. Okay,
indeed.
I'm in.
So it's really
Kevin Spacey's in that movie too.
Yeah, and he actually is married to a woman, which is not very believable.
Okay. Yeah.
What did he do? Because they don't touch that guy anymore.
Well, didn't he have what was his thing? Didn't he do something to somebody?
Like a teenager or
That
something?
sounds all
Yeah,
right.
he got a little creepy.
Yeah.
Sounds like
He
pushed boundaries when he shouldn't have.
They aren't touching him anymore because he was touching too many other people, Tom.
Yeah,
That's
I'm sure that's exactly it. I don't understand
Stop
that
touching
whole deal.
people.
I have never understood the attraction of that. It's like, there are Catherines in the world. I think I'll go that way. I mean, it's my personal choice. I'm not criticizing anybody. It's just, hey, man, it worked out.
Yeah,
Tom taking a bold anti-pedophilia stance on the show
Yes,
today.
I was. That's exactly right.
Let's add that to the Wikipedia. There it is. See?
And to clear things up with Kevin Spacey, he was accused of sexual misconduct, but he was found not guilty. It looks like in 2022 of sexual assault against 4 men between 2001 and 2013. So
men?
They said, he did not sexually assault those 4 men.
Oh, he didn't?
No, that's according to the courts.
Was that at the same time? It'd be a little difficult to...
Oh, no, but I don't think it was at the same time. It was 4 separate people, allegedly.
You know what amazed me? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just laughing at you doing the math on Kevin Spacey.
Well, you got to get her covered here. You know what amazed me about that whole deal is people have such strong opinions. And I grew up Roman Catholic, but I grew up in Roman Catholic in North Minneapolis. It's a different deal. Why would I possibly, if you leave the kids and the dogs alone, why would I give a rat's ass who you're having sex with? I've never understood that. It's like, you be you. I don't care. Just leave the kids out of it and we're good.
And the dogs, you said? Leave the dogs
out of it. And the
dogs,
all the animals. Don't strip the dogs or the horses or any of that stuff either.
Yeah, especially the horses, by the way. That can turn in a hurry if you aren't careful. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, live and let live, and just we do need some parameters and laws and guidelines in society. But you know what? You do you, or do whoever you want. And,
that's what I'm saying. No question about it.
Yeah. So Kevin Spacey probably is his career pretty much like canceled, even though he maybe was found not guilty.
God, you haven't seen him in years now.
House of Cards was kind of which was a great show, by the way.
He just moved to like somewhere in the Middle East.
Did he?
Oh, really?
I think so. I think he moved to like. I think he moved to Israel. I could be wrong.
Let's see here.
Well, I hope he didn't move to an Arab nation because they ain't too wild about gay men over there. He better watch his back, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't see anything on the personal life section of Wikipedia, but that would not surprise me.
Sorry, he made a surprise trip to Israel to visit some soldiers.
But he is trying to move out of his Baltimore home. So
Baltimore. Okay. He lives in Baltimore?
Yes.
Really? You think he can take an ass whoop and live in Baltimore?
He's behind on mortgage payments, and so he is trying to, probably because he hasn't been acting very much.
Oh, God. See, there's that sad part of it. Make better choices. Now you want to go shtup some guy, helter skelter, and now look what you got. You're screwed for life. That's depressing.
Is he broke? He's broke? Or is he just he just forget to make a couple? Did his maybe his direct depositor auto pay information got canceled?
He actually put the wrong card number in.
He cleared his cookies on his browser, so now all this information has to get re-entered. Yeah.
That's what
you horn tootin'. There's no question about it. All right, what else you got? Next Monday and Friday are going to be your last 2 days on the show for the entire year of 24.
Wow.
You're out of the mix.
Just going to cancel me for the rest of the year, huh?
Yeah, one whole day. That's exactly right.
It is kind of crazy how I feel like once we hit Thanksgiving, it's just kind of a sprint to the finish line. And most people, like in their jobs, just kind of, we don't really get anything done for the last 6 weeks. That's what we should do. Everyone should just take 6 weeks off, and then we all regroup on like January 3rd.
I like it. That works for me.
Yeah.
There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Pally, so we will talk to you. You will not have any info next Monday on our Minnesota Vikings because they'll play after you're on the show next week.
I will have some predictions and some hot takes lined up. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen in that game.
You mean what possibly maybe?
Correct, exactly. Yeah, I will play both sides of the fence aggressively and then see what happens.
Exactly. Well, I'll look forward to your pregame special next week. Phil Mackey, SKOR North on the Tom Barnard Show. What do you think?
All right, you guys, love it. Enjoy your weekends. Get out there, breathe in some of this minus 16 wind chill. Get those lungs feeling alive here in Minnesota. And Tom, go sun yourself.
I was sunning myself. All right, you pill. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you guys. See ya.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. The great entertainment continues right after this. What are you smiling about there, Tevin? I'm telling Phil that you laughed at the fact that he was entertaining.
No.
He'll be deeply hurt.
Barely.
When he said go sun yourself, I thought he was like trying to tell you to like go F yourself or something.
Well, that's what I thought.
Tom's in Florida. Get some sun. Never mind.
I think it was go S yourself. Yeah. Did you say S or what's
right, go S yourself.
My Pillow, glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year, regular price of $119.98 and now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock. Extremely limited quantities, though, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 or the six-piece towel sets, six-pack towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today and use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Hager brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris is not on the show today because he's getting that left wheel readjusted. Yeah, his left wheel, right? That's the left leg. That's the aluminum one.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
He's getting a racing leg put in.
I still never forget the first time he was ever on the podcast years and years and years ago. He walks into the studio, takes his leg off, and props it up in the corner. Like, what the hell? What are you doing?
Takes it off and it's got like a pad on the top, so he uses it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So who's with us? Ross, that's who.
You're stuck with me.
Stuck with you.
So yesterday, I entered the building, give or take 7:30, Tom, and Chris Eggert was behind me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what he's getting worked on today or what they need to do, but he was still blazing a trail and walking super fast to the point that I kind of veered off and said, you can go ahead of me. And he's like, oh, no, you go ahead. And then I thought, oh, is he offended that I wanted him to go in front of me because of, he was just walking fast. So maybe he was in pain. I don't know what's going on, but he is a incredibly fast walker, but he's also a tall man. So he's got like every Ross step is like 1.5 to 2 Eggert steps.
You know, I will tell you, that guy, I never did see him play because I only met him after he had lost his leg, but I guess he was one hell of a player. That's what I hear anyway.
We're talking athletics and not
yes. Oh, yes.
Women?
No,
okay.
No disrespect to Mrs. Eggert at all.
Well, okay.
No, he was a basketball hooper. Yep.
Yeah, he can hold his own on the hardwood.
Yep.
Got it.
Call him. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to call his wife today and go, would you get him to shut up about all these other women and stuff on the show? It doesn't look good.
Not a competition.
Wow.
Oh.
So I did bring a few news stories for you, and you guys know how I always like to try and give you a positive story.
Sure, absolutely.
We'll close with the positive one, but I really had to stretch to find a positive one today. Just a lot of negative news. But before we get to like the 1.5 stories that I did bring, can I just bring up a couple things with this esteemed panel? And one of them we've talked about before. So one thing I do on YouTube an awful lot is I'll go down these rabbit holes of like Westerners in third world countries where they're probably not welcome at all. You know, Tom, you kind of mentioned a little bit of that about 5-10 minutes ago.
Yep.
And I'll watch like, you know, honky walking around in Pakistan or Afghanistan taking videos, and they post it on YouTube. And it's really fascinating stuff because for 99.9% of us, we'll never see that part of the world. So I really enjoy that. But the last couple of days, I've been watching a lot of stuff, news coverage, because I don't think a lot of the commoners are there yet, but news coverage of, you know, people in Syria.
Okay.
And it's very cool. But at the same time, I could never be that person. The one that I was watching last night, you have Channel 5 ABC News reporter talking to some of these rebel fighters. And literally in the truck next to them is a guy firing off a machine gun into the air in celebration. And this guy's trying to conduct a news interview. And then I always think, you're firing off that gun in celebration. Those bullets come down, don't they? You're going to hit people who aren't even trying to do anything or be against you. Like, that stuff to me is always fascinating, and it's needed. Like, we absolutely need those people to see other parts of the world. But it is, like, I'm watching these, Tom, Tevin, and AJ, and I'm terrified watching it. And I know nothing's going to happen because they're airing it, right? But it's just, it is so cool, but incredibly uncomfortable. Any thoughts on that?
Well, does anybody know the velocity? Because you see it all the time. A couple of warning shots, bang, bang. Now, when they reach the top of their climb, these bullets, and they start back down, is there a maximum velocity? I mean, will it be like 60 miles an hour on the way down or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's a terminal velocity associated with it. So, AJ, do you have it?
A bullet fired straight up into the air can fall back to the ground at speeds of up to 150 miles per hour, or about 10% of its initial firing speed. But the exact speed depends on many factors, including the bullet's weight and shape and like wind for the day.
I just know it's not a chance I want to take.
No. Nope. Yeah, I'm sorry. 150 miles an hour with a piece of lead? No, thank you. I'm good. Everything's fine.
It is a historic world event, and you watch this stuff, and I continue to watch it unfold. And again, tell me if I'm wrong here, gentlemen. You watch this and you go, oh, what a great opportunity for them. This could really turn out to be great for the Syrian people. But in your heart of hearts, you know, more than likely the leadership is just going to be as bad, if not worse, than the last leadership. And that's saying something for Syria. and that does, like, that saddens me. Not everybody over there is a horrible person that wants to do bad. I mean, you have that slaughter prison that they've talked about. Like, it is incredibly sad. So you hope, and by the way, these are people who went to prison for doing literally nothing wrong.
Right.
So you just hope this turns out to be good. But in my heart of hearts, am I wrong for thinking there's no way this really turns out to be as good as everybody, at least in the new Syrian leadership, says it will be? Because I don't buy it for 1 second.
No, I'd have to go shoulder to shoulder with you on that one. It's not going to get probably get worse instead of better.
Yeah, there'll be this time period now for maybe a couple weeks, month or two, where everybody's happy, but eventually new oppressive leadership will take place. And that makes me really sad, but sad on the home front. I don't know if you guys saw this. Maybe you talked about before I hopped on. So remember we had all the food fraud scandal of people taking the COVID money and keeping it for themselves. Maybe it's not unique to Minnesota, but there's another scandal. Have you guys seen the autism scandal this morning that broke yesterday?
Yes. Yep.
I saw that. What, a center got raided by the FBI?
Two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah. So FBI agents. This comes from KSTP.com and our friends at Channel 5. FBI agents on Thursday raided 2 autism centers in Minnesota in connection with an investigation into suspected Medicaid fraud. So we know what that means. They're just keeping the money for themselves. A 5 Eyewitness News camera was actually there as FBI agents went through the Smart Therapy Center on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis. The search warrant application submitted by the FBI Special Agent Kurt, I'm going to go with Bialke or Bulke. We'll go with Bialke.
We know Bialke.
We do know one. I wonder if it's his brother. Is it his brother?
Could be.
How would you say Beulke? That's Bialke, right? Buki?
Maybe that's like
Bialke? Blue? I don't know.
Bulky?
Ross, I don't think it's pukey like you just said. Is it pukey?
How about this? Let's go with Esteemed Special Agent Kurt B. Indicates agents also searched the Star Autism Center in St. Cloud. Federal investigators say they found substantial evidence that Smart Therapy Center and Star Autism Center submitted fraudulent claims for services that either weren't provided or weren't covered under the federal program. This to me is about as despicable as it gets.
It was up to $400 million is what they're saying.
So I want to know, was this all going to one person who just showed up one day, went from driving a Pinto to a Ferrari, or were they splitting this amongst a bunch of different people? But these are the people, in all honesty, throw the book at these people, because I'll be kind of political here. I don't believe in taking a bunch of money from everybody to just give to everybody willy-nilly. I do believe in taking money from everybody to give to people who absolutely need it. Mm-hmm. And this to me is just this is horrible. This is for people who absolutely needed this money. Mm-hmm. By the way, have you ever met a person with autism? They're like the happiest, sweetest people you'll ever meet. We should all try and be more like them. And here we are robbing from those people. That's just horribly sad. It's not a lot gets me frustrated, but I almost said the S word. Stuff like this really makes me mad. I mean, it really pisses me off.
And it sounds like at least according to the KSTP article, that at least a dozen of the people that were charged in the Feeding Our Future scandal
they're back.
Yeah, they're also involved.
They're back.
So.
Oh my God, they're involved in this too.
Yeah, they're either
get out of the country, go away.
How many more do you think they're involved in? Right, this can't be just these ones. They were probably doing this everywhere.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Okay, that one's actually going to make me mad. So can we go to? Please note that everything I'm about to say is 100% facetious here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Child of the Year award. I have found it. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Sounds like that sketch from I Think You Should Leave Baby of the Year.
This one is horrible, but I'm going to nominate this gentleman for Child of the Year. A grand jury yesterday indicted a Burnsville man on first-degree and second-degree murder charges in connection with the murder of his mother.
Oh.
82-year-old Sandra Viola Matenis. Now, you think that's bad. Do you want to know what Troy did?
Sure.
He was previously charged with one count of second-degree murder. If convicted of the more serious charge, he'll get life in prison without the possibility of parole. Here's why. Troy told investigators that he fatally stabbed his mother at his Burnsville home in June of 2022 because he had spent all of her money and she was getting suspicious. That wasn't enough. He didn't just stab his poor 82-year-old mother to death. He took the next step. Anybody want to guess what the next step is?
Cooked her up.
Close. He dismembered her body, put the body parts in totes, and then discarded them from moving vehicles as he drove from Burnsville to Appleton.
Jesus.
You know, though, there's one good thing about that story.
Imagine finding it's a free tote. I'll go pick that up. Ah!
The reason that I'm enjoying this more and more is because of my mother. I can hear her in my head. As soon as I came at her with a saw, she'd go, well.
Also, who are these people? Okay, so I grew up largely in a one-parent household. My mother passed away when I was young, so we were raised by my father, who is the world's greatest person. Oh. And we were, as even children, it was the old... It wasn't, how's that go? It's not that I'm mad at you, I'm disappointed. We were all terribly afraid of just making our dad disappointed. Oh, yeah. How does somebody grow up to be a 50-some-year-old man who murders their mother?
You'll get no argument from me. That's all I have to say to you. Right?
That's
right.
I really think that that's all that I have other than one complete non sequitur, which everybody knows that I'm good for. Whoever does the song or wrote the song for Bradshaw and Bryant should win a Grammy Award. Every time I hear that song, which is about every day, I will sing that to myself all day long, and AJ can attest to it because he sits by me, and he's going to hear me hum, Seeking Justice for the... It's so great. That and Cars for Kids both deserve Emmys.
How come I didn't sing the jingle?
Grammys, not Emmys. Grammys.
Yeah. Grammys. I should have sung the jingle.
Let's hear it right now.
So what's the word? What are the words again? I forgot.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant. See, I put a little soul into it.
Tom, you strike me as somebody who could be one hell of a Christmas caroler.
Oh yeah, I used to be a singer back in the day when I was a teenager. Yes.
Also, another complete non sequitur. Sorry, I've had so much coffee this morning.
Are you getting distracted, dear?
What's your hat today, Mr. Bernard? That looks like
you don't know what that is.
Well, as AJ can also attest, my eyesight's terrible, so I can barely see it.
You guys know what it is?
Is that a fighting pike? What is that?
That's World War II, right? Raising the flag?
Mm-hmm.
Tunnel to Towers, baby.
That's a beautiful hat, Tom.
It is a beautiful hat. Great people, no question about it. How'd you like your brother going into the tower and never coming out? Plus, I have a good friend, Gordy Amos, whose son died in the building that day. Gordy's a wonderful guy. No, I mean, by my standards, so maybe not to other people, but you know.
I always, when you really think about it, like sometimes you see stuff like World War II and you go, oh, okay. But when you really think about it, I'll never live a life even a fraction of those people. And I'm not even joking about that. I mean, that's humbling.
Ross, I need your help with something. I told AJ and Tevin directly, since that thing happened with the, healthcare industry, I don't want any Italians on the show. No more Italians. You're out of the mix.
Bob's nephew.
And here's Bob. Oh, it's Bob's Well, he's not. If it's Bob's nephew, he's probably only about a quarter Italian then. So.
Well, I will say this, Ross. You are louder than me. And I've been accused of being. Tom's always telling me how loud I am. My God.
That's phenomenal.
You know what? Everybody that was sleepy is up.
So I come from a long line of loud talkers, Bob. Believe it or not, if I had to rank myself, I have 2 sisters, a brother, and a father. And I would say if I had to rank myself, I'm only the 3rd or 4th loudest.
All right, Ross, if you're not already, you got to do a podcast with them. And just put on the warning label.
The Loud Family.
Yeah, the Loud Family. I like it.
Yeah, sponsored by Miracle Ear. Or what's that? What's
Miracle Ear. Yeah, that's right.
And maybe you can get the people who did the Brad Sean Bryan jingle to come up with a song for you.
Bob, by the way, nice officially meeting you. Been a fan for years, so nice meeting you this way. I will run so they can actually talk to you, and I'll put my loud voice to bed for the morning.
I think a loud voice may be appropriate if we're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, which I assume we will.
Yeah, buddy.
So
let's go.
There's something there. And Tom, do you want me to launch, or do you? What do you think?
Do we have to do some spots first?
No, we can just keep on Bob and go right to the top.
And Ross can be on as long as he wants, just pissing Bob off. It'll be wonderful.
Just don't put Lammers on, though. He's
going to come on at 9, and he's going to want his time.
Oh, he's listening now. You know that.
I'll give you a few more minutes just so I can fulfill this lifelong dream of podcasting with Mr. Bob Sansevere.
Oh, stop it, Ross. You sultry-voiced fella.
Sultry.
Sultry's not the right word. What would be the right? You're a boomer.
It's a unique voice. It really is. You either love it or you hate it. I'm just stuck with it.
Put it this way. No, I worked with Mike Gelfand, so I know what a unique voice is.
I still love when he tries to make a point too, Russ. You know how Mike Gelfand makes a point? And I am not kidding. You and I would go, listen here, you do what I tell you to do. And he goes, let me tell you something. You got it. And he thinks he's pointing. It's like, that's not pointing.
Oh, yes, he does. Uses that middle finger.
He gets the middle finger going at you.
Is that when you know he's serious, when the middle finger comes out? That's like, for some of us, that's just casual. You casually flash the digits. But for him, is that the serious?
Well, the problem with doing a show on every Thursday with Mike Gelfand is by the time his show is over that I'm helping to host, I feel like hanging myself because there's nothing going right in the world. Everything sucks.
Oh, just imagine what the next 4 years are going to be like.
God,
Trump is president.
Oh,
no. And it's no matter what subject he's talking about. Like, he'll come in and be like, oh, like the Wolves won last night. And it's, well, yeah, but, Anthony Edwards, he's, not.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, okay. So
they only won by 42.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump sucks. He'll find a way to work that in.
I get such a laugh out of reading the social media now. People get... One thing I'm asking all social media people is stop acting like a tough guy. You're not a tough guy. I'm not. I've met some tough guys, and that's not us, so shut up with that.
Did you see what our beloved governor had to say?
Oh, what now?
Well, talking about why I thought they wanted to talk about housing, but they wanted to talk about eating dogs and eating cats. He still doesn't understand why they lost.
He just doesn't get it.
No.
Tim, you're a terrible governor. Where's all the money? Where'd all that money go? I'd like to know.
Or whatever it was. The future, feed the families. I don't remember which.
Oh, is it that? So it's just sitting there now?
It went to the Smart Therapy Center on Nicollet Avenue in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
That's where a lot of it went.
Well, some of it went to that building the house bodies. We still own that, or did you sell that one off? Remember? There was a warehouse that they got to put bodies during COVID.
He took over. We were up how many billions, and now we're behind. How many were we behind now?
He'll catch up. He'll raise taxes. We'll catch up.
Now that you say that, Tom, wasn't that like a year ago we had this surplus that we just didn't know what to do with and all this extra money?
Yeah, where is it now?
Awesome.
Did we get any of it? Did you get any of it? Because I didn't.
No, my check is still in the mail for my portion of the surplus.
They're still in the mail, baby.
I'm sure some of us will wind up paying in at tax time, too. I'm going to guess more of us will pay in than normal.
And this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. I think I would say literally, I know a few politicians that are good people and actually trying to serve the people. The rest of them are money-grubbing dogs.
See, but he seems like he's a decent guy. I don't know him at all. Our governor, Walz. I've never met him. I mean, I've met basically every governor since Perpich I've personally met and did stories on. I never did get a chance to meet him, so I can't judge for myself. But he seems like he could be a good guy. I mean, I like Amy Klobuchar. I don't agree with her and everything, but I like her.
For what it's worth, I've had one interaction with the current governor. So I do a separate podcast on my own once a week. And I was able to convince Governors Ventura and Governors Pawlenty to join this podcast. And then I turned that around to send to his people and basically say, look, governors from the other two parties have joined this podcast. It's not a gotcha. It's not a political interview. We're just talking Minnesota sports. Right. And he was very gracious, gave me 15 minutes. He talked to me for about 20 seconds before we started recording and then hung on through the line when we were done recording and thanked me. So that could just be good politics, but not everybody does that. So I'll give him some credit for that.
No, that's indicative because I think that is a fair way. That's the way you get to know if they're decent people or not, because he could have just blown you off.
Mm-hmm. And you can be a decent person, but not be good at your job or not be good at your elected office. So again, I'm not saying one way or another because I've become kind of the two-party system agnostic these days. But at least my interaction with him and all of that, Tim Pawlenty was literally, guy gave me an hour. Told me, and just kept going. So anywho, I'm gonna bounce so you guys can actually talk sports with Bob and they actually pay me to do real work here, so I should go do that.
How about if we get rid of Bob and you stay? How about that?
I don't think that's good for anybody.
What? What are you talking about? Come on.
What are you talking about? Listen, I'll be Tim Walz for the rest of the report.
You guys are all the best. Thank you for entertaining people in the morning.
Ross Brendel.
Nice meeting you, Ross.
See you guys.
Bye. Is his name pronounced Brendel or Brendel?
Brendel.
Mm-hmm. It is Brendel. I thought so.
Yeah.
Because I, of course, know Lindells and Brendels and all these other Dells. What the hell, Sandy? What's up?
Your Vikings. Actually, the biggest game for them, biggest weekend for them is this Sunday because Buffalo beats Detroit.
Yep.
Pittsburgh beats Philly. Mm-hmm. Vikings went out, which would mean beating Detroit in Detroit in the final game of the season. They are not only NFC North champs, they are home field throughout.
Whoa.
And it could happen because Buffalo, that's the last stumbling block in the way of the Lions. And the Vikings they should handle easily Chicago at home. That should not be a problem. The biggest game they have is Seattle could be tougher, but they should be able to beat Seattle too. Do what the Rams did last night. They have a player, Puka Nacua, who gets double teamed. Him and Cooper Kupp both see a lot of coverage. They just threw to him, in the flat, and they gave him short passes right at the line of scrimmage to get him going. They had 151-yard pass to him that was, he could have scored if it had a little bit more air under it. But that's what the Vikings need to do with Justin Jefferson. Get him the ball early and often.
Did you just tell me there's a guy whose first name is Puka?
Puka.
Oh, I thought you said Poopa. I'm like,
no,
that's
Puka. That's his brother.
That's his brother, exactly. Yeah. I don't know, man. Some good football coming our way on Monday, Bob?
I don't think it's going to be good. The Vikings really should be able to plow this team because the head coach, the interim head coach, 4 weeks ago, he was an offensive assistant. Then he became the interim offensive coordinator. Now he's the interim head coach. That's a lot to put on a guy who's never had any background in this to run the entire team. So he's calling plays and running the team. I just don't see it. I would be surprised if the Vikings stumbled in this one. And they really can't stumble.
No.
Because they have a chance to do some really good things. And you don't want to be the top wild card team because you will face whoever it is out of the West, or it could be Tampa Bay. You're going to face teams that can throw the ball. And that, I think, is your weakness.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be so nice to just kind of slide into a little playoff era. Well, I mean, we're not going to have a lead over anybody. We're probably going to come in as the fourth choice or something.
Well, top wild card is where it would be right choice, now. Yeah. But if they were to somehow win the division, they get the bye, and then they have home field throughout. They just have to win those games. And then they go to the Super Bowl, and then they lose to Kansas City, which wins 3 straight.
There you go, Sandy.
Well,
brilliant report, I thought.
Yeah.
What?
That's it.
Well, it's the top of the hour, brother. Unless you want to stay on, you can stay on.
No.
You could pretend you to be Tim Lammers, and he would be you.
Ooh. What?
You could jump on with him and bark at him like he barks at you.
Oh, yeah, he's very demeaning.
He's very demeaning, yes.
Bob, you want to stick around and talk to another Italian?
Yeah, Cake Boss.
You talking to me, or you talking to who are you talking to?
To you, Bob, the Cake Boss.
Who's the other Italian? Who's Cake Boss? Is that Lammers' nickname?
No, what's his name? Buddy
Valastro.
Valastro, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, but you have to talk to Tim first, right?
No, they're same duel.
Same duel.
Yeah. No. You don't want to have 5 of us on or 6.
There'll be 6 of us.
Never been good with Matt.
Actually, there'll be 7 of us. No, 6 of us.
What? Tim's not even in the room yet, but I've got Mr. Buddy Valastro on the line here.
Well, let me say hello.
A couple of Italian guys, I'm thinking, maybe. Go ahead, Bob.
Where is he from? Where are you from, sir?
I'm from New Jersey. How you guys doing?
Whoa! Where in Jersey?
Hoboken.
Hoboken? My roots.
Yeah.
That's where I have roots there. My grandfather was born in Hoboken, and my father was born in Jersey City. I was born in Hackensack. Where in Hoboken? Or how far are you from Washington Street or Washington Avenue there?
Little Ferry. Yeah, I grew up in Little Ferry, so I know Hackensack very well, and I'm sitting in Jersey City right now. I'm in my factory.
Oh, okay. Where in Hoboken were you born, though? Were you near the water?
Well, St. Mary's. I think it's Hoboken Hospital now.
Oh wow! Well, because my uncle Smitty, he used to own a candy store, and when I was young, I'd go in, there'd be like 1 or 2 Hershey bars, and that was it. But then you walk in the back room where everyone went. He was a bookie. He he took the he did numbers.
Even Louis the hot dog guy was a bookie too.
He probably knew each other. He probably had one hot dog on the truck, right?
Well, it was funny. I remember going as a kid and my dad saying, go get some hot dogs and and give Louis this and tell him 3, 4, 5. And it was, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it was Aqueduct, right? That's what they used. Whatever the last 3 numbers at Aqueduct was, that was the numbers.
That was the number.
Yep.
Yeah, different world, man. Different world.
They still doing that? I mean, do they still play the numbers, or has that gone away?
You know what it is? Now with all this online gambling, I mean, it's basically the bookies are out of work.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I mean, online gambling is basically bookies. No, I mean, you're betting on that type of stuff, and
yeah. Hey, Tom, my dogs are starting acting up. Mr. Cake Boss, sir, I'm going to let you talk to Tim Lammers now because I don't want anyone to have to listen to those mutts yowling.
You'll be fine. Bob, thank you, sir.
No, thank you. Thank you for leading me on to talk to a fellow Jersey guy. I used to live, by the way, I grew up Hackensack, but I grew up in at the Jersey Shore. Bradley Beach was my beach, and also I used to live down by Atlantic City, worked at the newspaper there. So what was your beach? And I'll leave with that. Where did you go?
Seabright. I'm in Seabright, so I was always in Seabright.
Oh, that fancy.
Oh.
That's where all the money lived. In Seabright. All right. Take it easy, guys.
Thanks, Bob. Bob Sansevere, ladies and gentlemen. Buddy's Holiday Recipe Rumble Complete Season 1, as a matter of fact, on A&E. Get ready for Holiday Recipe Rumble, joining Buddy Valastro on his festive mission to find the ultimate holiday family recipe. Well, it's got to be tough for that just one recipe is going to make it for all the families. How many recipes are you going to have to come up with for all these different families?
Well, no, you know what? It's basically families coming in and showing what they do for the holidays.
Okay.
Right? And, they're putting together these holiday feasts. And we're competing to see. So, like, one of the shows was a battle of the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Which family could do it better? And they would have 2 hours to create 7 feasts, 7 different fish dishes. Or we did one that was New Year's noodles. We did one that was a Noche Buena feast. So it's different cultures and foods and traditions from all over the world, and they come into the arena and kind of battle it out to see whose family recipes take the cake, literally.
Literally take the cake. Buddy, I got to ask you a question because I just went through a tough period in my life, as a matter of fact. My wife and I spent a lot of time in West Palm Beach in the winter. I'm from Minneapolis, St. Paul originally, but I didn't know this. On the way down, there was a place called Stresa, named after the island in Italy, and my buddy Claudio died. Nobody bothered to call and tell me he had died, but I have been going to that restaurant for 27 years. Great Italian food. But we're at a point now where I'm going to be able to find another spot with great Italian food. I'm thinking, but look, I'm going to miss Claudio forever. He was a wonderful guy. But that's tough when you've had a lifelong restaurant you go to and all of a sudden it's closed because he's not there anymore.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, in today's day and age, right, if like the restaurants like you're just describing, they live and die with the matriarch or the patriarch of it, and once that person, the next generation just doesn't want to do it the way they did or doesn't want to sacrifice. I kind of look at that with my kids. Some of the television we're creating now, like Buddy's Cake Dynasty, is kind of that. Like, do my kids want to do what I do? And, look, I mean, I'm on TV. I do a lot of fun stuff, but I'm still in the grind at my factory, 5, 6, 7 days a week. And I could be here 10, 15 hours a day. It's a lot of work. And the thing is you're constantly innovating, you're constantly developing. Is somebody going to want to be me and do all the things that I do here? And the truth of the matter is I don't know. We're going to find out.
I just, that whole deal, and I suppose I grew up, Catholic, grew up in that kind of neighborhood, a lot of Italian kids, French kids, all the Catholic people, I guess, is what we're talking about. So to be able to go from home to home to home when I was a kid, did you get that, Buddy, in your neighborhood where you went to different houses and they had this magnificent food prepared in different ways? I mean, that's the one thing about serving up dinners like that. It's, my God, what a treat.
Absolutely. You know what I'm trying to say? And going to your friends' houses and seeing what they did and how they did it was always awesome. And that's partly what this Recipe Rumble is about, right? It's about bringing your best holiday family feast and the pride that comes in it, or where did the recipe originate from? So we get a lot of history. We see a lot of different things. And just the dynamics of families working together. You see there's a lot of heart of, paying homage to mom or to grandma or grandpa for these recipes.
Yep.
So, we're excited about it.
Well, I'm excited about the whole thing. There's nothing better than sitting around with friends at the dinner table, eating great food, having a conversation. Timmy Lammers has jumped on with us. Timmy, you like Italian food, don't you?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Phenomenal. Anybody that doesn't like Italian food, just stay away from me. I don't want to hear about it.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not saying it because I come from Italian origins or it's kind of what I grew up eating, but it's just easy, good food to eat. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say? It's just easy. Can't go wrong with good Italian food.
No question about it. And by the way, this is a little off subject, but The Italian girls aren't that bad looking either. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Absolutely. What do you got to come to town and come in and do the show and bring a cake with you. That'd be great.
Why not, man? Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah, come on in, buddy. We'd love to have you in studio. Buddy's Holiday Recipe Rumble, complete season 1. It's on A&E. Watch it. You'll have a great time. And that's the one thing we have left is eating good food together. Everybody's mad at everybody else, but at least there's still dinner, man. Love it.
That's right. I'm on Jade.
Have a magnificent day. We all do. Man. Thanks a lot, buddy. Have a good day, sir. Buddy Valastro, ladies and we have to take a break here, correct?
We could just stay on with Tim. I've worked some magic.
So God, I have worked some magic.
AJ and his magic tricks.
His magic is none of the ads are getting played.
You're not going to get a check this month, but
okay.
You won't get any check this month, but don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Timmy Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Timmy, what's happening?
Well, one thing I wanted to ask Buddy, and if he's with his TV shows and everything, how does anybody respond to criticism? Because it ties into my review today. It seems like critics have it in for certain genres.
Oh, really?
And one of them these days, and I get it. I mean, there's just way too many of them. But the superhero comic book movie pictures, I just had an inkling that Kraven the Hunter was not going to be as bad as all the critics said it was going to be.
Yeah.
Or said it was, I should say. I mean, and I'm wondering how he responds to criticism. He probably is like, screw you. I hope he does. Because, I don't know. Just so many malcontents out there.
Oh, God. People right now are just so crabby toward one another. It's getting really old, man.
Yeah. I mean, and I said it before and I'll say it again. Does it entertain you? Okay, this is not brain surgery. We know that going into a movie. Does the movie entertain you? And yes, Kraven the Hunter is an entertaining movie. Now, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of a guy that is a superhero, comic book movie fan, not a comic book fan. Mike Bryant would probably look at it a lot differently because he's obviously he knows his stuff when it comes to this. But I can see why people are upset with different changes and everything that's made. But to me, I look at Kraven the Hunter, who is a villain in the Spider-Man universe. Now, to be clear, this is not a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man is not involved. It takes place in the universe, and you get references like, oh, there's a report in the Daily Bugle, So that's just that little reminder that it's there. But basically, Kraven is a comic book villain. This is his origin story, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's a terrific actor, by the way. He has a Russian mobster father, played by Russell Crowe. And I'm telling you, man, Russell still has it after all these years. His star has fallen considerably, but I think the guy, he brings his presence. He brings weight to any movie that he's in. So he plays Kraven's father, who started off as Sergei Kravenov. He is the son of this Russian mobster, Nikolai, played by Russell Crowe. As a young teen, he is attacked by a lion, mauled by a lion. He's got gaping wounds and everything. The lion's blood drips into one of the wounds. And then one of his friends has this mystical potion that he gives him that gives him these superpowers, the superhuman strength, the speed, agility, akin to a super predator. So he uses his stand in society now as a badass super predator to get rid of all the sort of mobsters, all the sort of people that remind him of his father. So, it's interesting because at its heart, this is it's a comic book movie. I want to say superhero, but he's not a superhero. An anti-hero, maybe, like Venom, like Tom Hardy's Venom. But it's more of a mob sort of drama for most of the movie. I mean, you really don't get a lot of apart from the, Kraven's powers. You don't get like the Rhino, who is literally a half human, half rhino villain until the end of the movie. So, as much as I know you don't like comic book movies, Tom, I think you actually might enjoy this because it does have that gritty crime thriller / mobster movie feel to it. Don't expect brain surgery. I mean, it's predictable. It's got the comic book action and all that sort of stuff, but it's a little bit different than your average comic book movie. So, I mean, I'm not completely showering this with praise. I've seen it before, blah, blah, blah. I know where it's going, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say a 5.5 or 6 out of 10 on the Lamma-meter. It's not nearly as bad as all those critics out there, those malcontent critics who have to have everything emulate War and Peace. You don't compare it. Does it work for its intended audience? Yes, I think this does. If you want to be entertained, just go see this movie.
Malcontents.
I like that word. I don't use it. I don't use it nearly enough, but it's true. I could say it's true. There are so many malcontents out there. You could call them crab asses or whatever, but malcontent, Tommy, makes me sound smarter than I really am.
It really does. There's no question. We will talk to you next week, Pally.
Indeed, you will. You actually will talk to me on Tuesday, which I believe is the last family deal of the year, correct?
Not next week. That's
Tuesday. Tuesday for the family?
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I will be on Tuesday, and then I will be back with you on Friday. So
perfect.
Double shot of Timmy next week, brother.
All right, Pally. We will talk to you next week. Thank you.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. And as you know, it's the usual deal around here. We save the superstars for last, if you know what I'm saying.
The brightest superstar.
The brightest superstars are the last on the show. So we'll.
Kevin, do you want to add a compliment or do you want to be the one person that doesn't compliment?
It's at this point, her head's probably about ready to explode from
her
massive ego. So
there's no question.
Yeah,
there's no question. We'll be right back. Whatever her name is, it's like BK, Burger King, or what is it?
Yeah, there we go. It all evens out.
Yeah. We'll be right back. My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price of $119.98 and now only $59.98. The 6-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 or the 6-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yeah, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So what about that brilliant intro you got?
That was nice, and then it took a left turn there. I don't know what happened.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, all we did is talk about how wonderful it is to have you on the show. Is that what you mean?
You mean like the superstar, and then all of a sudden, like, no, we can't introduce her. Her ego is going to be too big. So
yeah, it'll be way too big.
Burger King.
Burger King, KB2, BK2, whatever works. So, what's the latest?
What is the latest?
So I got to show you something. I need some movies to watch, and this is the reason I need movies to watch. You ready?
Uh-oh.
Do I have to get closer with it?
Here we go. What is? Looks like we got some words.
Oh,
is that
weather.
the temperature?
It's
the
weather.
Saturday, 35% chance of rain. Sunday, 55. Monday, 55. Tuesday, 60. Wednesday, 65. It's going to rain all next week, and it's your fault.
It is my fault. I said, dear weather gods, please send rain to Tom Barnard so he cannot leave his couch.
Take all of the rain that we're getting here in LA and send it to Florida.
We don't have any rain, so send it our way.
Oh,
We've been
your
on
way
fire.
too.
We've been burning up here in Malibu.
Yeah. How are those fires going?
It looks like they've at least got it contained. It's still burning, but nobody, like housing and things like that, are no longer in danger, which is good. And I have good news about Dick Van Dyke's kitten. They found the kitten.
Oh, the kitten.
The wonderful thing I will say is that there are so many resources that when things like this happen, because oftentimes pets do run because they're stressed. There's like humane societies and a lot of rescue groups go in there risking their own lives to save animals. And they found Bobo the kitten. And Bobo. He has been reunited with Dick Van Dyke and his family, who are back in their home. They're safe too.
I just wish everybody was as nice as Dick Van Dyke. Did you ever get a chance to interview him?
I did.
The greatest.
At the TV Academy, they were celebrating famous TV dads, and he was there. And I was asking him about like whether he was still dancing. And this is going back to about 2008, so it's been a hot minute. And he did like a little soft shoe for me right there on the press line. It was amazing.
What a nice man. Well, you know, Mary Tyler Moore had her problems, unfortunately, no longer with us. But that was one of the better casted shows of all time.
Cast
shows. What did I say?
Casted?
Did I say casted?
I know what he meant.
Better cast shows. Yeah, there you go. How about if I cast out your... Never mind.
The grammar police. Casted is, honestly, Tom, I think casted, which is not a word, it's cast, has become a part of our American lexicon, which is really interesting. Yep. It has. And also the words like apart and apart, like a part and a part. People don't know how to distinguish between those either. It's been really interesting watching language change.
And you don't understand the difference between pipe and down. What do you think of that? Personal attacks,
Well, no, it's the grammar police in me. Obviously, I'm an editor as well as a writer and an entertainment journalist. So the editor sometimes in me comes out and my brain sets off a bell when I hear that.
I understand that completely because I didn't even know I said casted instead of cast.
But I agree with you. It is one of the best cast shows ever.
It is. There's no getting. I mean, just the whole thing. The music was great. The opening scene was great. It was just a wonderful. I'm sorry, but those shows, Desi and Lucy, I Love Lucy was a great show.
Honeymooners.
Fred was my favorite. Well, Honeymooners. Jesus, you got the king of all time, Jackie Gleason. Died at 70 years old with a drink in his hand. But other than that. Yeah.
I hope he went out happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or was he a miserable drunk?
I don't know. I never got a chance to talk to Jackie Gleason. Everybody else on the show I did, but not him. But he, I guess he could be a little difficult to work with.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what I hear anyway.
I know Kevin Costner just got slammed again. Remember, we've been talking about
really? Yes.
One of his co-star Luke Grimes was like, it was much easier not having him on set. The conflict was removed. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I would have said that. I'm not really one when you have a bad experience with someone and then they ask you, in public about it. I'm not really one to air the dirty laundry because I just don't want it associated with me. Because then you feel like, oh, I was part of the problem. Do you know what I mean? When you start throwing it out there to the public. So I would just say, you know what an honor it was to work with Kevin Costner. We missed him this season and let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. I've had him on many, many times to plug his movies. He's always been just a really, really nice man. It's kind of weird.
It's interesting. He has moments, like you can see flashes where he just doesn't want to talk about a subject. I can see it in some of his interviews.
Yeah.
There was one in particular, Entertainment Tonight, because people said that when he was on the Today Show, he and Hoda Kotb had a spark or something. But I feel like Kevin Costner has a spark with everyone. I think like he's one of those guys and you're like, oh my gosh, he's flirting with me, but I don't necessarily think he's really flirting with you. He just has good chemistry. And so Entertainment Tonight was like, hey, do you want to hook up with Hoda? Like, do you want to date her or whatever? And he was like, this is not a dating service for me. Like, you could just see like the wall go up and he got a little prickly in the interview. And I always think about this because had it been someone like Michael Douglas or George Clooney, they would have leaned into the joke and been like, ha, 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 I've got my wife at home. We're not going to do that. But I love Hoda so much. And instead, he just gets prickly about it. And I was like, there's like, you can see the little bit of like difficult Kevin Costner in moments like that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like I said, I've interviewed him many, many times and he's always been great.
But you weren't asking him about his dating life. Like that would be a topic I think he would hate. Or would you ask him like, hey, I heard you and Taylor Sheridan hate each other. Would you lean into that?
I don't know, maybe, because I like both of them, actually. I mean, the one thing that Taylor Sheridan does get called out on is a lot of his stuff is exactly the same. It just takes place in different settings. And people, say, oh, is this the same old Taylor Sheridan deal? And I hope he doesn't run out of ideas because I really like his shows. They're very, very good.
Paramount Plus hopes he doesn't run out of ideas.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, my God, that whole thing. One thing that Catherine and I have been doing, and you guys I would recommend too, we've been watching old Christmas movies. Just watched The Ref the other night. Just really, really good. I mean, Dennis Leary is so good in that movie. It's amazing. A lot of really great Christmas. Watched one last night that took place in Chicago. It was called 8-Bit Christmas, I think it was called, because the kids all wanted a Nintendo, and Dad and Mom said, no, we're not getting you a Nintendo. It's a good show. I mean, it's very interesting. Very, very human stories, I think.
You said Chicago, and I was like, Home Alone?
Yeah, Home Alone. Yeah, there he is back at that house. That house went up for sale. I remember that. That thing was not cheap when it went up for sale.
People were upset that it didn't look exactly like the Home Alone house.
Right.
I'm like, it's been a while, guys. They might have done a renovation or two.
That was about 45 years ago or whatever that was. It was a while back. But a lot of really good things on TV right now. You can find a lot of Christmas things. You can find, whatever you're looking for this time of year. And for Catherine, to me, it adds a lot. We do like the entertainment that goes with Christmas.
Yeah, I always go back and rewatch. Like Elf is always a rewatch for me.
Yeah.
Christmas Story, I think I usually catch at least once. And my favorite is the original version of Miracle on 34th Street with Natalie Wood. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
We'll be getting into that. So we got about 7 more to go, 8 more to go, something like that. And we find Catherine's really good at finding that stuff. I've never even heard of 8-Bit Christmas. There's a couple of people in it that you would know, but I thought it was terrific. They did a very nice job with it.
Well, everyone wants a Christmas movie or a Christmas song because you make a lot of money in a very short amount of time. So either residuals or in terms of licensing and things like that. Like Mariah Carey, her fortune comes pretty much November 1st to December 25th.
Yeah, she's in the prime of her like money earning right now. Although she's canceled like 2 shows because she's got the flu, so she can't go tour. And
Oh, really?
Yeah. All I Want for Christmas Is You.
You know, I got to be honest with you. My family, and it was every year, and we'd still do it if we were still alive. And I probably should dig up, well, one of his specials anyway. But Nat King Cole in my house was Mr. Christmas. My God, my mother just loved Nat King Cole. Well, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and all those wonderful songs that he did.
That's
really
a classic album. I mean,
It
if
is.
you hear that, you know that's Nat King Cole.
Do you know how talented that man must have been to get his own TV show in the mid-1950s as a black man in America? You know how much talent he had to have to get that job?
It's incredible.
Jesus. It is. And then his daughter died young, and oh, God.
That was
All right, let's
sad.
get off the sad stuff.
I
Let's
know.
move forward.
I know. I didn't hear all of Tim's report. What did he review this week?
Kraven the Hunter from Marvel.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, there's a lot of good stuff out there right now. So I was like, this is a
okay.
good week. First of all, Blue Bloods series finale is tonight.
Oh, I loved that show. Why does it have to be a series finale?
Are you up to date? Or have
No.
you not watched the season?
No, I have not watched it. I'm going to watch it after it's over. No, I think Tom Selleck is as good as it gets. I really like him.
The cast is really upset that this series is ending, and they've been talking in the press quite a bit about the end of the series, just saying, hey, we still have so much life. It's still doing very well in Nielsen ratings, but the show is just too darn expensive. The cast already took a 25% pay cut. So, CBS would probably be like, all right, do you want to shave off another 20%? I don't know what they would have to do at this point in order to keep it, but that was a pretty hefty salary cut, and they just decided the show was too expensive.
I guess so, but man, I have loved watching that show from the very beginning. Really, really good.
All right. I also have a new show for Tevin's new Paramount Plus subscription. You ready?
Yes.
It's Dexter's Original Sin. So the
Oh, God.
prequel is out. Yes.
I
And Michael C.
love
Hall narrates this. So this is a good one for you. That's already out today. Conclave. Did you see Conclave, Tom? I feel like you did.
Now, what was that all about?
That's you would have seen it in the theaters because now it's out on streaming. It's on Peacock. It's with Ray Fiennes, and it's about the Cardinals selecting a new pontiff.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did see that. Yep.
Okay, so this is on Peacock now. It's available on streaming. Honestly, this is one of the front runners for the Oscar this year. So if people are interested in the award show race, people are raving about the film. So that is one to maybe put on your list if you haven't already seen it. I know you've already seen it, Tom.
I love it.
And Carry On, Netflix. This is going to be one of those. This is with Jason Bateman. A TSA employee is handed off a package that has a bomb in it. He's convinced by this guy to put it on a plane. And of course, now we have to get the bomb off the plane on Christmas Eve, making it an official Christmas movie. It's at Christmas time. We don't have to argue like Die Hard whether it's a Christmas movie or not. And that is on Netflix.
You know what we got to do next week? Because there are 4 of us. We have to get one more person and go through how each one of us went through the Christmas season. Because I bet you they're just hugely varying stories, that whole situation. What do you think?
Yeah, like talk about like a typical like Christmas Day experience, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
From
my
our
dad-
childhood or adulthood?
Yeah, from the child. Well, whatever is the most interesting. Like my father, because he was nuts. Every time that he did, every Christmas came, I would find him sitting in his room on the bed pouting. Because he just couldn't grasp that whole idea. He just couldn't do it. Schizophrenia does that, you know. It's unfortunate. He was kind of a prick, though. You don't have to worry about it. It all worked out in the end. Well, he was. He was a prick to me. He always was. He loved my brother Terry, but not me. What are you going to do?
That's hard when there's favorites in the family.
Whatever. I took over his job and did a much better job than he did, so it all worked out in the end.
And look at you now.
What else? Yeah, look at me now. I'm sitting here with you, Hunyucks.
I know. I'm sorry.
Way to point that
Sorry.
out.
I'm sorry we're here with you this morning, ruining your Friday, your Christmas holiday.
Typical. I'm just trying to sneak out the back door. Okay, so along with those movies, The Ref was the one with Dennis Leary, and 8-Bit Christmas you can find easily. It's in a lot of places. Do you guys have one Christmas movie that you do love to watch? Because I need about 4 more. Anything?
I'll say I'm going to say Polar Express. That I always thought that was a very
really
good one as a kid. It's it's animated. It's got Tom Hanks.
Yep.
It has like 1 or 2 musical numbers, but it's not too much. I think it's pretty good.
All right, Kristen.
My turn. Okay, I'm gonna go Rankin Bass. And the Year Without a Santa Claus, because you've got the Heat Miser and the Snow Miser, and it's fabulous. And I believe that's available on Amazon Prime.
See, 2 already that I want to watch. I knew I could count on you guys.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. Okay, go ahead, Tiff.
I love it.
I mean, Christmas movies. I mean, you can never go wrong with the Home Alone series or the what's Santa Claus 2? Is that the Tim Allen?
Oh yeah, yep.
That's always the classic to go with. So yeah, and I mean that's some of the newer ones. Chris Brown, was it this Christmas, last Christmas, something like that? There's a Chris Brown Christmas movie that's pretty good too. But yeah, I would say go with Santa Claus 2, Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
See, these are all things because I do. Catherine and I watch something every night, and some of them we've never seen, some we haven't seen in years. But it's just it's a great holiday to watch a movie and have a few laughs of human frailty and things like that.
Yeah,
I really
Puts
enjoy
you in the
that.
Christmas spirit because
It does, yeah.
I used to go, like, I was thinking about this. I was watching old footage. Someone had like old mall footage from the 90s. And I was like, that's how people used to get in the Christmas spirit. You go to the mall, you make a day of it, you go to the food court. And I'm like, that's not a thing anymore. So how do you get in the Christmas spirit? I guess you have to watch Christmas movies.
Being with your loved ones watching Christmas movies.
Yes.
There's no question. All right, any closing words?
I think you've got all the Christmas movies that you need to watch. It's actually a really good week. If you guys have bad weather, cold weather, whatever, there's a lot of great things on streaming to look out for.
And today, what's today? The 13th. Oh my God.
Friday the 13th. Everyone be safe.
There's been like 4 of these this year, I feel like. I honestly, has there not been?
I don't know.
I think you're right.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The way the calendar fell, that's kind of creepy.
11 days until Christmas Eve. Huh?
Well, one of us won't be here next week.
Really?
That's dark and obvious.
Is someone out for vacation, I hope, because I'm not predicting anyone's death.
Is it me? Have I been fired yet again?
What's happening?
We'll have to wait and see. Friday the 13th. Something's
listen to him. We'll have to
are you final destinationing us?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Get off the plane.
Jeez, AJ.
Great series, though. Great films.
I agree with Kristen. You're mean.
All I said was, geez, AJ. And now I'm mean.
No, I said he. You said he's mean.
I didn't say he's mean. I just said, geez,
I
AJ.
said you did. All right, Chris Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So you'll be with us the entire week just before Christmas. That's good.
I'm going to work all 5 days, believe it or not. I'm aware of the schedule we are
work. I don't know if I'd call it work.
We're ending the year on a high because I am in the loop as to the schedule.
Because you're going to be high? Is that what you're saying?
No.
It's not. What are you doing?
I'm not the girl to go and get high with. I am the girl that's like, I'll have a Coke.
And I'll drive you all home, vomiting in my backseat.
I'll be the designated driver.
The DD, yeah.
The DD. Unless it's late at night, and then I'll make my husband drive. So
there you go. All right. So we will talk to you next week. And you guys, I will talk, same situation. We'll talk to you next week. Get that weekend before Christmas and then head out, man. So we'll talk to you guys on Monday.